Okay, welcome to a quick video on bow basics, bow staff basics. You can use anything if you don't have a bow. You can use a broomstick, a long dowel. Typically they're about 6 feet long, give or take a few inches depending on your height. These are the traditional Japanese bow staffs that we would use. Apologize for the quality of the video in some of them. The camera is up on top of my shed, trying to angle down so I can capture as much of the bow and footwork and all that as possible. So it wasn't quite completely possible in all cases, so thank you for your patience with that. Hopefully it gives you a little bit to work with, drills you can do on your own, and very basic things from the very beginning on how to hold the bow through to a couple of different strikes and some exercises just for practicing solo bow staff work. So the first thing we're going to cover is how to hold the bow. You're going to start with palm up, your right hand palm up, left hand palm down, and hold within the middle third of the bow to start. The drill you're going to watch in the next video is going to be how to hold it initially, but also how to practice shifting between the thirds of the bow. So you're going to move from end to end, from the middle to the ends. The next part of the video is going to cover basic fighting stance with the bow. It's going to be usually right side forward. You're going to hold the bow within the middle third of the bow, and you're going to have your left hand at your left hip, your right hand on the other side of that middle third of the bow. The swing up, there's 3 strikes actually within this initial movement. There's the swing up, the end of the bow, the tip, and then the final strike down. Make sure you're gripping the bow as tight as you can, almost like you're squeezing a rag. So you're squeezing like this when you're holding the bow, and make sure you use the V of your hand for that extended farthest part out of the bow. And be sure to swing as straight down as possible. Try not to chop down at the side. The next part of the video, you'll see a basic thrust with the bow instead of a swing down or a swing to the side. You notice the initial starting position. It's your usual right side forward fighting stance with the bow, and you'll have the bow at your left hand at your left hip, and then your right hand at that other end of the middle third of the bow. And when you thrust it, at the end of that thrust, make sure that bow is going up underneath the armpit and it's locked down nice and tight, and then back down to that initial position at the hip. There's another drill we've got in here as well. It's actually pretty good upper body toning and strengthening as well if you're doing it 100 times on either side. Swinging the bow back behind your head, down behind, and taking a big step forward and staying on the bottom third of the bow. So you're bearing the brunt of the weight of the entire bow in that bottom third, so it gives you a little bit more exercise. And you're bringing it back behind your head, and you're going to switch your hands around before you slide down again. So notice that in the video of the hand switch behind the head. Keep an eye on that. And take a nice long Zenkusudachi stance when you come down with the bow. Keep your left hand at your hip, and the right hand is going to hold most of the weight of the bow as it comes down. Try and lock it into place. Don't let the bow swing around at the end of each strike. This goes for almost all the strikes that you're going to do with the bow. Okay, the next little exercise or drill we're going to cover is I call it the helicopter drill. You bring it above your head, and you're going to twist the bow down into a strike. This strike is meant to be as sideways, horizontal as possible. So watching the video, you'll notice as the bow is twisting and coming around, it's not chopping down too much at an angle. A little bit can't be helped, but you want it to lower like a helicopter, coming straight down and then striking to the side. So watch that in the video. As the bow twists, it's going along the horizontal plane as straight down as possible and chopping at the side as much as possible, depending on what area of the body you're aiming for, the target is. If you're aiming obviously for the knees or around that, it's going to be more of a chop at the very end.